Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we return to talking about the latest Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, Captain Marvel. With the film finally coming out this week, reviews are starting to pour in and, well, it's not looking too good for this wannabe feminist superhero. It's still a little early to tell completely, but the mixed to positive reviews coming out now are certainly not a good sign. Keep in mind, Marvel movies are set at a higher standard than most. After over a decade of films and over a dozen releases, they damn well better be too. So, with that said, Captain Marvel scoring a middling 82% on Rotten Tomatoes right now isn't a good sign, especially this early on. Last year's Black Panther ended up with a whopping 97% with critics, if that tells you anything by comparison. And as I've said time again, Black Panther was a decent movie, but not even close to being a top movie from last year, let alone a top Marvel movie. But these bad reviews coming in are, of course, being brushed off by the pro-Captain Marvel social justice warriors, who are co-opting this movie for their bullshit feminist causes. For example, one website, the much detested Mary Sue website, they even tweeted out this abomination, saying, "All the negative reviews for Captain Marvel are from men." And not only is this divisive and a dramatic thing to say, but it's also patently false and untrue. Just take a look at this image of a number of females who reviewed this movie negatively. Kristen Lopez said it was a great superhero origin story hobbled by the corporation using it for their own selfish purposes. Sounds like she liked it enough, but all this negative SJW press nearly ruined the flick for her. Sounds pretty reasonable to me too. Then Laura Clifford said, "Marvel not only finds itself lagging behind DC with its first female superhero, but utterly losing the contest. Captain Marvel is a boring mishmash of ideas from a score of other movies and franchises." You see, I've heard stuff like this before too. To me, it sounds like Captain Marvel could be trying to throw too much in there. Too many chefs in this kitchen. The female stuff, the feminism, and other Marvel characters, and also a tie into the next Avengers movie. That's a lot to balance and pull off at once. And now that Disney is getting overly involved too, pushing this SJW shit and warping the press coverage of it as well, Captain Marvel's fate could be worse than we thought, guys. And of course, there's many other negative Captain Marvel reviews from women out there too, so I really don't know why the Mary Sue website is lying about this. They are widely known to be an SJW rag magazine, so I guess we shouldn't be too surprised, but why don't we go ahead and take a look at their article anyway and see what they wrote about this. The name of their article has changed recently though. I guess they were already called out for blatantly lying about this, so the piece is now titled "Captain Marvel is fun and most of the negative reviews are written by men." Shocking. And well, I see they are walking back that definitive statement that all bad reviews are from men now. Frankly, I think they should have taken down this whole article and apologized, but I'll also take what I can get here. So let's go ahead and see what else they have to say. I can't say I'm surprised that most of the negative reviews of Captain Marvel are written by men. I saw the movie last night. I'm not going to write up all my feelings, but the movie, it's a fun origin story, a new look at a hero, and fits in perfectly with the MCU. So their problems with the movie seem strange? A lot wanted more of a girl power vibe, which, no, it doesn't need that? Well, the writing of this article is what seems strange to me. First of all, but the movie, it's a fun origin story, sounds like poor syntax to me. I would have just said the movie is a fun origin story, but hey, I'm just a simple man with simple pleasures. Next, let's go back to the beginning of this, where the writer says they're not surprised most of the negative reviews are coming from men. Well, yeah, I'm not surprised either, and it's for a number of perfectly logical and easily identifiable reasons. Like, how about the fact that most of the fans and people going to see Marvel movies are men? Men like action and comic books more, just like how women like romantic comedies and makeup more. And they also like complaining more too, but that's a whole other story. The other reason no one wants to talk about here is the fact that most movie reviewers are men too, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Men like reviewing movies more, so that makes them gravitate to professions related to that, like being a writer of movie reviews on a website, or you could be a YouTuber who reviews movies on camera. In fact, I subscribe to a lot of movie channels here too, on this website, and I've noticed this trend for years. Men, particularly white ones actually, we tend to like doing movie reviews online. And while SJWs like the Mary Sue will tell you this is because of sexism and bias, well, it's really not. Would you say it's sexist because most makeup reviews are done by women? Because that's pretty much the same ballpark. Or what about another profession? Would you say it's sexist how most teachers are women? Because I would venture to bet Mary Sue would say no, and most rational people would say the truth. Most teachers are women because more females want to be teachers. Just like how most movie reviewers are men because mostly males want to review movies. And more males watch comic book movies as well, so the whole premise of this article is pretty much shit right from the beginning. Part of the problem, quote, problem, with Captain Marvel is that people were angry that she had a feminist agenda. I guess by just being a woman and existing. I think I need to use like a girl voice for this. I would read it like, I guess by just being a woman and existing. So the fact that the movie isn't really that heavy-handed on that message should have appealed to people, but apparently they're also mad it wasn't more of an agenda. It didn't need to be, you silly goose. And the best part of the movie is when everyone keeps telling Carol to get her emotions in check, and she just says no, and does whatever she wants anyway. I don't know why my SJW voice sounds like a gay dude, but moving on. And well, if what's described here is the best part of the movie, then it sounds like it's a total failure to me. And all this mildly positive stuff that Mary Sue is saying about Captain Marvel sounds a little weak and off to me as well. It sounds to me like they would have said something positive regardless of how bad the movie was, because they have to. This movie does promote their SJW and feminist agendas after all, so all their liberal followers are going to pretend this movie is good for as long as possible. And I don't doubt it's decent or watchable either, but I'm certainly not getting a vibe that it's very good or great at all. If it was, the positive reviews like this, they would have much better things to say than the best part of the movie was when Carol lets her emotions run wild. It sounds lame and dumb to me. And it also sounds like an analogy for feminism too, since feminists also encourage women to wear their emotions on their sleeve and be as bitchy and mean-spirited as you want in public because you're a whammon or something. The other thing I noticed is this article is really strawmanning the Captain Marvel detractors. They're pretending people hate this release just because it has a woman lead, and they say we hate Captain Marvel just for existing? Please. Men are mad at this movie because the actress and the public relations team have been attacking straight white men for almost a year now. And I guess the Mary Sue has a really short memory too, because the star Brie Larson has been shitting on men and whites for weeks, leading up to the release of this movie now, this week. That's why people are being skeptical about this. And that's why moviegoers are starting their viewings off with a bad impression already. It's not because we're jerks who hate women for no reason. Quite the contrary. We're customers who are mad that a product's marketing team chose to attack us for no reason. And that's the real story here. That being said, Twitter is pretty much in love with her and the movie, and that's more important. And below that, there's a tweet talking about Captain Marvel and representation. What a goddamn joke. And I love how the Mary Sue is basically admitting that they think Twitter is more important than real life. I don't know what it is about SJWs, but they just love Twitter. They're super obsessed with it. Tweeting, retweeting, posting selfies and videos and whatever, you name it. All for a platform that barely reaches 20% of the country. That's right. There's about 67 million Americans who use Twitter right now, compared to our population of over 325 million. So if you do the math, that means only about 20% of this country gives a shit about Twitter. A garbage platform, if you ask me. And it's probably much less than that considering all the dead and hardly used accounts that are on there. And for comparison, YouTube's reach is far wider, reaching over half of the people of the nation, over 50%. And that's only counting accounts that are active each month. And from what I've seen over the years, most people who use YouTube, they don't even sign up either. No accounts, no voting or commenting or nothing. So I would venture to bet that 60 or even 70% of Americans actually use it at one time or another throughout the month or week. Think about it. People watch music videos, podcasts, documentaries, and comedy skits on here all the time without logging in or signing up or anything. All kinds of stuff like that happens here, but Twitter, not so much. And the point I'm trying to make here is this. Twitter is dumb bullshit that most people don't care about. Those that are into it, though, think it's their whole entire world, just like these SJW dum-dums on Twitter today. And I don't mind them having their priorities either. The Mary Sue can tweet all day for all I care, but when they pretend their love of Twitter is something that matters to most Americans, well, no, I have to tell you the truth. Only about 20% of the United States are on Twitter. And in my personal opinion, about 95% of Twitter is completely garbage and not worth your time or effort anyway. Maybe sometimes you can find some good news or funny comments or a video on there, but good luck. It's harder than finding a needle in a haystack. It's actually more like finding a needle in a bullshit stack. Look, I get it. It isn't for everyone, but it is telling that most negative reviews of the movie were written by men. Is it my favorite MCU movie? No. That still goes to Captain Marvel Civil War. But the film does a great job of introducing us to Carol Danvers and setting up her storyline. Their anger comes from messages that wouldn't have benefited the movie, and the storyline isn't predictable, especially if you're new to Carol's story. So should you go see Captain Marvel? Yes, of course, you should. It's a great movie and I want to be Carol Danvers now? That being said, maybe make your own opinion on this one. So many have an opinion on Captain Marvel, but it is important to watch the movie and discover it for yourself, especially since the internet is having a temper tantrum over Carol Danvers getting her time on the big screen, whether she has too much agenda or not enough. Okay, well, I can't stand this writer clearly, and I hate their tendency to ask themselves questions in irritating ways, like when she says, I love Carol Danvers now? Well, despite all that bullcrap, I will also admit they did get something right here at the end. I do think people who are interested in the movie movie should just watch it for themselves and make your own opinion. This is true of every movie though, not just Captain Marvel. If you see a trailer or a poster in a genre or style that you like, or featuring an actor you love, well, I say give it a shot. Even if you don't want to give them your money, just go to a cheaper matinee showing, or just wait for the DVD to come out, or you can pirate it. That being said though, Captain Marvel and its SJW supporters, they sure aren't doing this project any favors by attacking, lying, and warping the reviews of men. Clearly the Mary Sue did something wrong here too, when this garbage piece came out, because that's why they were forced to change the title and even add an editor's note to correct things. So it looks like, in an effort to spin the mixed reviews of the movie, the Mary Sue actually made things worse. In the end, really, this is a form of sexism, but it's not the anti-female sexism this article suggests. Actually, saying only men are hating this movie because they hate women is lying about them, and that's sexist towards the very men you're attacking. And this is especially funny coming from a website like the Mary Sue, who claims to be against sexism. Their motto even reads, "Make geekdom safe and open to everyone." Well, really, I think they meant they wanted women to be allowed, but no men at all. Kind of like what they say about the Captain Marvel movie. They say it's not for men, it's not made for you, and neither is this website. In reality, websites like the Mary Sue aren't about equality at all. They're actually about dominance. They don't want equality across the genders or anything like that. They want to be head and shoulders above the men, and they will cut off every man at the sack to make their evil dream possible. Never trust sites like the Mary Sue, just like how you should never trust an SJW with a movie review. And since this rhymes, you know it's true. So I'll see you all later. Toodaloo. What do you guys think? Are evil men like me to blame for Captain Marvel's bad reviews? Or is it perhaps because the movie was poorly written, or poorly executed, or promoted in a horribly offensive way? And what do you think about the Mary Sue having to correct their previous title? Will these leftist SJWs ever learn? Comment your thoughts on everything below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time.